The goal here is simple. As we age and move forward in life, we want our brains to get healthier and stronger, not weaker. But without being conscious of what we should be doing, our brains often start to decline. Let's talk about how we can make a positive change. Today, we're diving into everything related to the brain. Brain fog, mood swings, mental health, and even long-term concerns like Alzheimer's disease. This topic is very close to my heart. I went through my own struggles with mental health in my early 20s. Depression, anxiety, panic attacks, dissociation. It was a rough time. During that phase, I realized how little I actually understood about how my brain functioned. And while there's still so much we don't know about the brain, science is beginning to reveal some fascinating insights, especially about how the way we eat impacts our mental and cognitive health. What I discovered was that the glucose spikes I was experiencing from the food I ate were directly making my mental health worse. Stabilizing my glucose levels was the first step in my healing journey. So today, we're going to explore the connection between food, glucose, and brain health. I'll also share some simple tips you can start using to keep your brain healthy as you age. First, let's talk about brain fog. If you've ever felt like your mind is filled with cotton or like you're underwater, that's brain fog. It affects your focus, memory, and clarity, making it hard to perform everyday tasks. Some people experience it all day, every day, while others have it off and on. For a long time, we didn't know what caused brain fog. But now, new research is shedding light on this topic. One study titled Effects of Differences in Postprandial Glycemia on Cognitive Functions in Healthy Middle-Aged Subjects found that what you eat in the morning has a significant impact on your cognitive performance and memory. If you have a breakfast that leads to a large glucose spike, your memory, attention, and overall brain function decline. In contrast, keeping your glucose levels steady with a balanced breakfast improves cognitive function. Another study, Mechanisms of Glycemic Variability, accelerate diabetic central neuropathy and diabetic peripheral neuropathy in diabetic rats, showed that when rats were fed in a way that caused frequent glucose spikes, the speed of information transfer between their brain cells slowed down. This slowdown is called nerve conduction velocity, and when it decreases, memory and cognitive functions suffer. So, glucose spikes can literally slow down your brain. The takeaway? Eating in a way that avoids large glucose spikes can significantly impact how sharp and focused you feel. If you want to keep your brain functioning at its best, stabilizing your glucose levels is essential. Now, let's move on to mood and irritability. A fascinating study titled Low Glucose Relates to Greater Aggression in Married Couples looked at how glucose levels impact relationships. In this study, couples were given voodoo dolls representing their partners. Every time their partner irritated them, they were instructed to stick a pin in the doll. Over the study period, the researchers found that people with steady glucose levels put fewer pins in the dolls, indicating they were less irritated by their partner. However, those with frequent low glucose moments, often following glucose spikes, were more irritable and put more pins in their dolls. This shows how our glucose levels can directly impact our mood and personality. Parents have even shared that once they began incorporating glucose-stabilizing hacks, their relationships with their kids improved. They felt more calm, patient, and less likely to experience mood swings or irritability. It's not just about being hangry. Frequent glucose spikes and crashes can make us more irritable and less pleasant to be around. Why does this happen? When we experience glucose spikes, certain molecules in our brain, like tyrosine, a neurotransmitter that helps regulate mood, can be affected, leading to these personality changes. So stabilizing your glucose isn't just about physical health. It can actually help you become a more balanced and positive person. Now let's discuss the link between food, glucose, and mental health. As I mentioned earlier, my mental health was a major reason I started exploring glucose's impact on the body. The connection between what we eat and our mental health is real and powerful. For example, glucose spikes increase inflammation in the body, and this inflammation can also impact the brain. While the blood-brain barrier protects the brain from some variations in glucose, it's still affected by these spikes, leading to symptoms like anxiety and depression. There's a compelling study called Incident Major Depressive Disorder, predicted by 3 measures of insulin resistance, a Dutch cohort study, which followed 600 participants for 9 years. Initially, none of them had signs of insulin resistance or mental health issues. Over time, those who became insulin resistant due to frequent glucose spikes had an 89% increased risk of developing major depression. This indicates that insulin resistance and mental health are deeply interconnected. Lastly, let's touch on Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's is becoming more common at younger ages, and researchers have noticed a strong connection between glucose, insulin, and Alzheimer's. In fact, some scientists refer to Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes or diabetes of the brain. Studies have found that people with Alzheimer's show signs of insulin resistance in the brain, similar to what we see in type 2 diabetes. One large study, midlife lipid and glucose levels are associated with Alzheimer's disease, followed over 3,200 participants for 38 years. It showed that people with high glucose levels in midlife had a 14.5% higher risk of developing Alzheimer's later in life. While Alzheimer's is not purely genetic, keeping glucose levels steady can help reduce the risk. So how can you start protecting your brain today? Here are 4 simple glucose hacks to get you started. Have a savory breakfast instead of a sweet one. A savory breakfast helps prevent glucose spikes, keeping your brain sharp throughout the day. Start your meal with vegetables. The fiber in veggies will help protect your body from large glucose spikes during the rest of the meal. Never eat sugar on an empty stomach. If you want to enjoy sweets, have them as dessert at the end of a meal. This way, the other food in your stomach slows down the sugar's absorption into your bloodstream. Move for 10 minutes after eating. Use your muscles after a meal to help manage glucose levels. A short walk, some light cleaning, or simple exercises like calf raises can make a significant difference. These small changes can help keep your brain healthier now and as you age. Taking care of your brain health is within your control, and it's never too early or too late to start.